Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Daybreak. I'm Colin Winder.
And I'm Juliana Brock. Today we have several in-studio reporters ready to give you all you need to know about what's been going on both in the Berg and nationally this week.
Plus, reporter Hannah Bazet will catch you up on your entertainment news, and reporter Salvador Elia will make up his Daybreak debut.
Wake up and smell the coffee, Pittsburgh. Daybreak starts right now. Welcome back. Let's get started with your campus news. Here's your weekly weather update with Ethan Rowinski.
Thanks, Kaliana and Juliana. Next week, we can expect temperatures similar to this week in the sense that they aren't too hot and not too cold. In fact, they're just right. Most of the highs lie in the mid-60s. The only exception is that stubborn 56 on Friday. There'll be little precipitation throughout the week. But watch out for Thursday as there are expected storms. As we enter into October, we are fully reaching consistent fall weather, and it seems that summer is truly behind us. Any thoughts from our hosts?
It's cold.
It's really cold. I like it though.
I don't. Personally, I don't.
I don't know. I'm excited. It makes me feel a little festive. I'm excited about it, honestly.
I like the colors, but
I do like the colors.
When I roll out of bed to go to my 8 a.m. class, it's freezing, and all I put on are sweatpants and a sweatshirt that don't match.
Right, but that's why I like it though, because you can.
That's all you need in my book.
Right. Thanks for the update, Ethan.
Before we get started with this week's campus news, here's reporter Jillian Musser with news regarding the unfortunate passing of some notorious figures.
Thanks, Kaliana and Juliana. This week we saw many famous deaths occur. On Tuesday, country music star Loretta Lynn passed away. On October 3rd, actress and activist Sacheen Littlefeather passed as well. During Oscars in 1973, she was appointed to accept the Oscar won by Marlon Brando. However, she declined. Littlefeather stood up and brought attention to the stereotypical portrayals and mistreatment of indigenous people by the motion picture industry. This caused her film career to end. In 2022, the motion picture industry apologized to Sacheen Littlefeather, stating, "The emotional burden you have lived through and the cost to your own career and our industry are irreplaceable. For too long, the courage you showed has been unacknowledged. For this, we offer both our deepest apologies and our sincere admiration." End quote. She continued to advocate for indigenous people and even co-founded a Native American theater company. Sacheen Littlefeather announced back in January on Facebook that she was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. The post said, "I look at every day as a gift of my life. As I look back on my life, I look at it with pride that I did something that may have made a difference." End quote. She was 7 years old when she died.
Thanks, Jillian. Without further ado, here's your campus news.
Being 6 weeks into the academic school year, it is time to have some fun and relax. It is family weekend this weekend, starting on Friday, October 7th and going until Sunday, October 9th. There are tons of performances and events for you to do. Online registration is closed at this point, but do not fret because walk-in registrations are accepted at check-in with remaining tickets on a first-come, first-served basis. The following days are jam-packed for you all to enjoy with your families, from Java Jazz in the park on Saturday to family brunch on Sunday. Families are sure to enjoy this time spent together in the city.
The Conservatory Theater Company will be showcasing the performance of Sondheim on Sondheim at Highmark Theater. According to the company, the production will show the songwriter through, quote, the use of exclusive interview footage. Audiences can get an inside look at the personal life and artistic process of famed composer Stephen Sondheim, end quote. The presentation was conceived on Broadway by James Lapine and will use music and lyrics from Stephen Sondheim himself. The production will be shown on October 19th, 20th, and 21st at 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m., as well as having 2 performances on October 22nd at 2 p.m. and 7:30 p.m., and finally a 7:30 p.m. performance on October 23rd.
Point Park students, clear your schedules because the fall dance concert is going on until October 9th. The opening show took place on October 5th in the Pittsburgh Playhouse. This is a wonderful show put on by our Conservatory Dance Company, featuring the works of Maude Arnold, Latasha Burns, Annabelle Lopez Ochoa, and Robin Mineko Williams. The beginning showtimes are 7:30 p.m. on Wednesday through Friday and 2 p.m. on Sunday. Saturday, October 8th, we'll be presenting 2 shows, one at 2 p.m. and another at 7:30 p.m. Do not miss these performances as they are sure to make you fall for their talent.
Oh my gosh. Are you going to Parents Weekend?
I am not. I'm just hanging out this weekend. I see my family all the time.
Oh, my parents aren't coming down this weekend, but I am going down later.
Okay, so that's exciting. Yeah. Are you going to the shows?
I might go to some shows. There's a lot of performances going on right now.
There's a lot. I'm excited.
I'm excited for the fall dance concert.
Right, I'm super excited to see that.
And it's right with Parents Weekend.
Right, it's perfect. It'll be a packed house for sure.
Definitely.
Coming up after the break, we'll dive into this week's Pittsburgh news.
We'll also hear about the Miss USA pageant from reporter Hannah Bazet.
Don't go anywhere, Daybreak. We'll be right back.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening and welcome back to Newsnight. Most of the student body of the Pittsburgh Public School.
Some of the United States allies.
Thursday, the FBI was seen raiding.
Let's get started with today's forecast.
Today's high will only reach about 31 degrees.
It's looking a little cooler than we've seen in the past few weeks.
All this and more.
All this and more
All this and more coming up on Newsnight.
coming up on Newsnight.
Coming up on Newsnight.
Welcome back to Daybreak.
It's time for your city news.
The Pittsburgh Steelers lost 24-20 against New York Jets on October 2nd. The loss did not stop there as fans leaving the game fell from an escalator at the Steelers Equestrian Stadium. After dying at the hospital, entering critical condition, the paramedics and police units were alerted about the incident around 4:45 p.m. and was taken to a local hospital immediately. As of now, there are no public information of the identity of the guest. However, the Pittsburgh Police Department and VCU detectives are investigating the death further. According to the Steelers' released statement, quote, "We are aware of the unfortunate incident that occurred inside Equestrian Stadium today. We are working with local authorities and helping their investigation into the matter. We are sending our thoughts and prayers to the guest's family," end quote.
All familiar with our local newspaper, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, but are we familiar with how the workers are being treated? As of midnight today, multiple unions of the Post-Gazette walked off the job and began going on strike at 12:01 a.m. The Communications Workers of America stated that their reasons for going on strike were unfair labor practices and unilateral changes to their health care plan. These workers are typographers and mailers represented by the CWA, along with members of the Teamsters and Pressmen's Union. The CWA released that, quote, "The workers who are responsible for designing, printing, distributing, advertising sales, and account receivables at the newspaper have been working without a collective bargaining agreement since March of 2017, end quote. Post-Gazette management has not given any pay raises in 16 years and refuses to engage in good faith bargaining. Also, according to CWA, the workers' health insurance was discontinued as of October 1st, and they are currently paying over 8% of their wages for insurance premiums. Ed Mooney, the vice president of CWA, states, quote, "They have shown our members nothing but disrespect. Enough is enough. We will stay on strike until the Post-Gazette recognizes our value to the paper and stops violating our rights," end quote.
Point Park's Pioneer Records label are hosting an on-campus concert showcasing our Pioneer Star candidates and other Pike talent. Pioneer Records Monster Mash concert will take place on October 13th, Village Park from 5 to 9 p.m. That's not the only event, as our record label will be doing a special giveaway of tickets to Women Who Rock benefit concert at Stage AE. The concert will feature Jordan Sparks and other artists like Emily Wolf, Tiny Wars, and DJ Honey. To enter the giveaway, you must follow both Pioneer Records and Women Who Rock on Instagram at Pioneer Rex and official Women Who Rock, as well as reposting their flyers on your story. Finally, you must attend Pioneer Records Karaoke Night at Creative Coffee Supply on October 6th from 7 to 10 p.m. The winner will win 2 tickets to the event, so make sure to come out and hear some good music and support your local artists.
I'm really looking forward to everything that's coming here. It's exciting.
Yes, the karaoke night.
Right, there's so much planned. October has always been a fun month, and this is it's proving it.
Especially with good music.
Right, I'm excited to see the DJ. I feel like it'll be good.
I know. And it sucks to say about the protests, though.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but you gotta do what you gotta do for the right thing.
Yeah, like very in support of labor workers, and again, sorry to the Steelers fan that fell from the escalator and their family.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate. That's scary, honestly.
I know. At least the Steelers released a press statement.
Right,
you know?
I'm happy that they did that. That's a lot, honestly. It's a shame.
And glad they covered the identity, too.
Right, I agree. Now that you're all caught up on your city news, let's hear about what's happening in this year's Miss USA pageant.
According to our reporter, the contest might not be as authentic as what meets the eye. Take it away, Hannah.
Thanks, Kalian and Juliana. Is the Miss USA pageant rigged? Some of the contestants who competed for the title this past Monday sure think so. The annual Miss USA pageant was held in Reno, Nevada on October 3rd, where each state's pageant winner competed for the crown. Miss USA is one of the highest titles you can hold as a pageant girl, and the competition is fierce. These girls not only have to win their own state title to get a chance to compete, but they also only get one try at becoming Miss USA. The women must go through preliminary round a week before the competition, where they are judged based on the swimwear, evening gown, and interview portions. Only 16 girls are selected to make it to the final competition for the title of Miss USA. The final competition is televised and shows the winner being crowned. Well, Miss Texas, our Bonnie Gabriel, came out on top and was crowned Miss USA, but her fellow pageant queens are not here for it. There was obvious tension after the girls all exited the stage after Gabriel was crowned instead of staying on and congratulating her, which is common practice. Pageant fans quickly took to social media pointing out that only the hosts of the competition hugged Gabriel after her victory. That is when other competitors started speaking out against Gabriel and adding to the drama. Miss Montana, Heather O'Keefe, who did not make it to the finals, took to her Instagram story and said, quote, "At Miss USA was crowned less than 24 hours ago, yet she's already got a sponsored vacation to a Nizuc resort? Are you kidding me? I was giving y'all the benefit of the doubt, but this is just embarrassing at this point." End quote. She then ended her rant by sharing a video of Miss USA 2021 crowning Miss USA 2022 and said, quote, "The fact that the outgoing Miss USA was more excited than the newly crowned Miss USA speaks volumes. Regardless, I made sure to have the absolute time of my life this week because we already knew the outcome before it even started. So did she." End quote. Fans now believe that our Bonnie was set to win the entire time, as she shared promoting her sponsorship did come so quickly after the crowning and had clearly been filmed and ready to go for whenever Miss USA was finished. It was then pointed out that our Bonnie was really the only girl who was promoted on Miss USA's social media accounts leading up to the competition. We will have to see if any of the other contestants or the Miss USA pageant themselves speak out against these shocking allegations. That's all I have for now. Let's send it back to our hosts.
Thank you, Hannah. Coming up after the break, reporter Salvador Elia and Hannah Bazet will catch you up on this week's national news.
But don't forget to stay tuned to the end to hear this week's Ray of Sunshine.
Daybreak will be right back.
Welcome back. Now let's send it over to our reporters, Salvador Elia and Hannah Bazet, for your national news.
Thank you, ladies. The death of an LAPD officer during a training exercise has led his family to file a wrongful death suit against the department. Officer Houston Tippings of the LAPD suffered multiple injuries during an exercise, to which the department claims was due to a fall suffered during a grappling exercise, but the prosecution alleges that the officer was beaten to death out of retaliation. Not too long before the incident, Officer Tippings had submitted a report against multiple officers for a sexual assault, and the defense claims that not only was he beaten to death, but at least one of the officers named in the report was present and active during the alleged murder. After his death, the LAPD conducted an internal investigation to which they claimed he had died during a one-on-one exercise in which he played the suspect confronting a bicycle-mounted officer. The LAPD alleges Tippings was to attack the student officer and be placed in a headlock. Unfortunately, the two fell during the training and, with Tippings still in the grapple, landed on his neck, paralyzing him, to which he died in the hospital 3 days later. Hopefully, with more investigation, the real cause of death can be discovered and Officer Tippings may rest in peace. Now I'll send it over to reporter Hannah Buzza for more national news.
Thanks, Sal. The Hurricane Ian death toll is now up to an estimated 106 people and is continuing to rise as the damage in Florida begins to be assessed. The New York Times reported that this is the most fatalities recorded in a state from a single hurricane since 1935. State residents of Sanibel Island were given the go-ahead to return to their homes this past Wednesday, and residents were shocked to see the hurricane's destruction. CNN reports that Sanibel's reopening came on the same day President Joe Biden got an aerial tour of the damage in Fort Myers, Florida. This is the first time the president has been in Florida since the hurricane. During a news press conference, the president said, quote, "Today we have one job and one job only. That's to make sure the people of Florida get everything that they need to fully, thoroughly recover," end quote. ABC 15 News reported that the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers traveled along the coast to begin their assessments from the hurricane. They are responsible for putting more sand on the beaches after the sand is lost due to erosion. With destroyed towns and cities just now beginning to rebuild, residents want more aid from the government. The Federal Emergency Management Agency approved $7 million in hurricane relief for the survivors of Ian. The New York Times reported that analysts have said the hurricane caused an estimate of $40 million in property damage alone. On top of dealing with damages from the storm, Florida residents are also worried that their houses may be looted. Governor DeSantis said in a press conference on Tuesday that three people who he referred to as, quote, illegal aliens and, quote, should not be here at all, were arrested due to suspicions that they were looting damaged homes. Some residents have sworn to protect their property at all costs, and DeSantis endorsed their right to defend their homes. We will have to wait and see how long the cleaning process takes and if more government aid is granted to those who were affected by the storm. Now back to our hosts.
Thanks, Hannah and Sal. Now let's take a segue away from storms to share with you this week's Ray of Sunshine.
In case this is your first time joining us or you need a refresher, Ray of Sunshine is our way of starting your day with a smile and an inspirational quote.
We're reaching a point in the semester where some of us might be in a little slump, but don't worry, we're here to provide some helpful encouragement.
This quote comes from former English Prime Minister Winston Churchill and reads, "Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts." That's a good quote.
That is a good quote, for at least for now.
Right, it's perfect,
Like
especially with midterms coming up.
It's exam season. I took 2 exams. One of them,
But failure is not fatal.
Failure is not fatal, and we just have to get through this.
Right, once we get through it, it'll all be good. Enjoy the holiday break.
Yeah, and whatever successes we can take, we'll take it now.
Right, it's a pretty appropriate quote.
That's it for this episode of Daybreak. Thank you all so much for watching.
You can catch clips from all of our previous Daybreak episodes on our YouTube at UView Television.
Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Daybreak PPU. Until next time, I'm Colleen Winder.
And I'm Juliana Brock, hoping your news is great news. See you next week, everyone.